Happy Friday, everyone. Jackie Bloom here with Thank God It's Friday Art Time. So I have lots of stuff out today, and before I get started, I wanted to share with you a little tip. A lot of my girls know this, but if you don't, you'll love me afterwards. So, here's my tip. Some kind of tape runner and shimmer trim. Now shimmer trim has this little piece on here so that way you can peel it off and use it when you need it. But sometimes, through no fault of your own, I'm sure, you get this. And there's no lead. And you're peeling and you're peeling and you're poking and you can't get it off and you're frustrated, right? Here's an easy tip to save that. Put a little bit of your adhesive on your mat, piece of paper, whatever, scratch paper. Put your shimmer trim on there, and then, and I just cut my nails obviously, you just pull, and there you have separated and ready to go. Okay? So there's my tip for today, everyone. Give me some love if you like it. Alright, today, what are we doing? Well, we're going to be working with some stencils and some ink. I've got the new Avacado and Almond. I've also made a stencil out of our stencil material. So where did I get the idea for this? Well, in the catalog this month, there is a kit right here, and it has, let's see if you can see that, it has a little cutout, a little paper stencil for you, and here it is. Okay, and I said, I want one for cards. So I went on to Cricut and onto our Close to My Heart cartridges and found one very similar and made it about the same size, maybe just a smidge smaller than this square versus this square. Okay, I made my own that will last. So also I have a palette knife from our palette knives. I'm also going to be using some liquid glass. I've also got a sponge dauber, fits nicely on your finger, and our new ink tool, blending, and they come with these little pads that you just stop on there so you can switch them out with other ones. I'm also using some of the new glitter gel, and it's by Stickels. And this one is, who's this one? It says it down in here somewhere. Oh, Solar Flare. So I used this one on the scrapbooking page that I did for you. And that's what it called for. Again, if you're looking at these kits, right down here it has some extra things that you might need other than the kit and your glue. So, like for instance, there's the almond ink pad, which I am using almond, the palette knives, a round sponge, glue dots, 3D foam tape, the solar flares, which is optional, and a journaling pen. So you probably have some of those, and maybe you need a couple of those. So our solar flares come in 4 different colors. Currently, they have been selling like hotcakes. And you can see the bottom here, what they kind of look like. Okay. So there is a couple that we can get, and this other one is Nebula, which is what I'm going to use on the card. So this one I used for the scrapbook page, this one I used on the card. Then we also have beads, and these are the bright beads. It's just a couple of the colors. My yellow and orange got mixed up. I need to sit and separate them because I wanted just the yellow today. That was interesting. Tweezers come in handy for that. And then the stamp sets that I'm using, This is Holiday Trimming C1810, and I used the Merry Christmas. Now this is a former stamp set that we had, but it is online only. If you go onto my website, right up here, and you go to, on the left hand side, if you hit shop, it drops down a box, and on the near the bottom, it's either clearance is the bottom one or online only, and that's where you'll find this set. The other one that I used was this pretty one, which is Z3772. It's the stamp and the thin cuts, which, look at all those thin cuts for my thin cut girls that love their thin cuts. Just about everything, I think, on this one. Let's see. You can tell by this, which my thing's in the way, but yes, everything in this stamp set has a thin cut. Woohoo! Give me some love for that one. Okay. So, also I have my old little pokey tool, or pokey mat, and I stamped out a couple of the extras of the pieces from that stamp set. A good idea when you get a stamp set is to take and punch out in white or whatever color you think you might use. You know, sometimes you use black more, sometimes you use the white, sometimes it's the French vanilla, which is kind of our cream color. But go ahead and stamp out a bunch of them, test out the thin cuts, make sure they work properly, and then stick them in the bag. As you can see, I have some stuck in here. Then that saves you one step when you're going to make something. Okay? So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I also have some baby wipes. Paper towels would be good, wet rag, anything like that. And what I'm going to show you first is I've got just a piece of paper. I think it's 3 1/4. I'm going to set my stencil down over it, kind of watching the lines around so I can kind of make it even, if you will. And then I'm going to just kind of help me hold that stencil down, okay? Now we're going to take the almond, and you could do this, you can skip this step if you don't want to do this step, but it kind of adds to it that if you don't put as much paste on, then you have something down, and you also have something down, I don't know, it just adds to it. So like I said, this is almond. I'm just going to gently pounce to get some color down. I don't want it too super dark. And this is the same for the scrapbook page that I'll show you in just a bit. So I'm just getting some color, and you can't even tell, but if you look underneath, it is there. Hopefully you can see that, because I need to leave this down. Okay, so we're continuing, and we're sponging. Hope everyone had a great week, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm going to pull out this one again, which is Nebula. Okay, now this stuff looks weird, okay? It looks like the consistency of snot, okay? And a little goes a long way. See how it's kind of sticky? So a little goes a long ways. So I'm going to just take a little on my palette brush, or palette knife, and I want to kind of put it down and slide it kind of on the edge, if you will. So I'm just going to kind of put it down, turn it over, spread it out. It will go a long way. And these are flexible a little bit. You can go and get a little bit more. If you need a little more, you can move those stars around a bit if you need to. Okay. And less is more. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm going to take this up, and you have to let this dry. Isn't that pretty? Yes, I hear everybody saying, ooh. All right, clean up. I'm going to set this aside. You can get that little star, and if your mat's clean, you can put it back in. Get in there, little star. Close this up right away because you don't want that to dry out. It'll probably be cement. I don't know. I've never let it dry out. Okay, so we have these to clean up. And I'm going to use a baby wipe. Who knew they weren't for butts only? And that just helps me to get all of that extra stars. Get rid of all of that. Oh, there's an extra star. And then the back. So just our normal cleanup, okay? So that's clean. I'm going to set that aside to dry. And then make sure you wipe off your palette knife. Whenever you're using this kind of stuff, wipe your tools off, okay? Alright, now, get my paper towel out. Just a little roll of paper towels. And you don't have to take them off all the time, right? There you go. Alright, so that's that. So like I said, we've got to let this dry, but I'll pull it up so you can see it and hopefully turn my light a little bit so you can see, hopefully, some of that shine and sparkle, if I get it just right. There. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. Get it a little closer. Isn't that pretty? Okay, like I said, set this aside to dry. Alright, back to work. What else are we going to do? Alright, so I told you I had some of these. I'm going to give you a couple of tricks. So this is the smaller one, which is meant to be your leaves. And this is the bigger one, which you can layer a couple on, and then there's another smaller one. But this is just what I had left, so this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to take my stylist, and I'm just going to go from almost the middle, not quite the middle. Just going to put a little bend out, or just a line out to the point. Okay? I'll show you that in just a second. So we just want to give it so it doesn't look so flat. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Hey Jody, hey Peggy. Hi. Alright, so now you've got that little bend in it, so it kind of helps you to crease them. Okay? Crease. Crease. Okay? So that's for your, remember this is your leaves. And they don't have to be green if you don't want them to be green. Okay? And then with this one, I did the same thing. I went down the middle. And then you can either, well, if you look at the stamp set itself, you can see kind of the lines. So you can do it that way. Here's that other little one. Or what I do is I just do the one down the middle, and then I just kind of go halfway. So one down the middle to the point, and then just a couple of extra lines, if you will. Okay? Like so. One more. One more. Okay, there we go. Now, since I have a little of, this is actually this is the front side of almond, so this is the lighter shade of almond, which is really nice when you want to sponge it a little bit. I'll just do a couple so you can see the difference. Okay. Let's see. I need something white. And we'll use this. Okay. So there you go. Hopefully you can see these three are not done. Those two are done. So just a little bit of sponging on that, if you will. And then we'll put that away. Oh, no, we won't. Also, I'm going to do a little bit on here. And I'm just getting just that part that you can reach, if you will. You don't have to do all of it. Do as much as little as you like. Heaven knows, if Dee was here, she would be sponging everything. Miss her. Okay, so then next what I want to do is show you how I manipulated this flower. I just took my bone folder. Now make sure that you're holding on to it good so you don't pull and rip your leaf because it's kind of thin here. And I'm just going to, about halfway, just curl it down. Okay? And it's just a gentle curve. Okay? And then what I want to do is push these back because I want to kind of make a pocket. And that'll make more sense in a minute. Okay, and so now you can see that it's kind of, there. Hopefully you can see that it's kind of curved up a little. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Let's put this away. Now I got this from Sarah Backlund, and also Julie, and I think her last name is Carrie. And they said, you know, white poinsettias sometimes have a little green in them. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of avocado, and I just want to test. Just took off a little bit, and then I'm just going to add a little bit in the center, like so. Just a hue. Okay? Just a little bit. Hey Nancy, nice to see you. Alright, so we'll put that away. Now, this is your leaves. Pretend I had 2 of these. We're just going to have 1 for right now. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive, for sake of not being able to reach anything else, and put this onto here. Obviously you want to make sure that we have some greenery showing, right, even though they're almond. Alright, so we've got our little well, and what are we going to do with that? Well, let me show you. I also stamped, this is avocado cardstock. This is the normal side, this is the lighter side with the avocado ink, just so you can add a little extra, okay? And there again, I would tape it, or what I did do on the card I'm going to show you, is I taped it here and just kind of bent it up, so that way it has a little bit of texture instead of this flat one, right? Okay, so what are we going to do with this? We're going to take out our beads, we're going to take out some liquid glass, and hopefully I don't get too big a puddle. And I'm just going to put a little puddle right there, okay? Liquid glass is finicky. You want to get it to where you can hear that the air is going through, so it doesn't get clogged and you have to use a pin. Alright, I'm going to take some of our beads, and remember, mine got mixed. Those little packets kind of mix them, but they are seed beads, so you can poke through the hole and pick them up easily. Okay? Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to take the yellow ones, and I'm going to sit here and just throw, and you can do a couple of them. You can usually, well, of course, on camera I can't pick up more than one. So you just start dropping them in, okay? And if they kind of go out over the edge, you just tuck them in, okay? And this is such a neat idea from Julie and Sarah. I love it. It looks so pretty, you guys, when it's done. I'll show you the done one. So you just keep doing it until you got enough, or you think you got enough, or nothing else sticks, okay? Do a couple more. You can use this on a different card. Okay, so it's just as easy as that. There's really nothing to it. But, oops, till you get it stuck on both of them. Don't do that. Okay, so hopefully they won't move too much. Come here. There we go. Alright. So isn't that pretty? I just love how that looks. And again, I'd probably add a few more. I was adding one more. And of course, I can't see where my beads are. So you just drop it in. Whoa! Well, I didn't have that much problems off camera. Got my finger. Oh, for heaven's sakes. There we go. Okay. So let's hold on to this a little better. Let's tuck those in. We don't want our circle, and now it's all sticky. Let's tuck it back in there. There we go. Get you back in there. Okay, leave it. Put it aside. It's drying. Alright, let's put those away. Enough of that, right? Alright, if you're going to start doing some of this mixed media stuff, and this, all this did was give me, it's a cushion. So you could use the back of your Versamat, just something that gives you a cush. You could even probably use the little sheet that comes with your, that Yeah, that's even enough. So just grab this out of your stamp set, okay? It's just to give you a little push so that way you can make that one. Alrighty. Let's see. Get some of this out of the way and show you what I did. Alright. So, wanted to show you that I also, just with the almond ink, I just added a little bit to my envelope. Isn't that cool? Okay. So I wanted to show you where a couple of these are. This is the current catalog. These are the two stamp sets that I use. So here is the little leaf. And here is, oh no, I didn't use that one. Here is the leaf. Here is the pieces that I used. Okay. It's nice because there's a little bow too. And then this is the kit. And this is what I'm going to be showing you. I did this little bit on here to show you what that looks like. And I have it right here. Now this is usually the nebula. So it's a little bit darker than, where's the one that's supposed to be drying? Over here. It's a little bit darker than this one. It's got more golds in it. This one has more pearlescent colors in it, if you will. Okay, so this is the page that's not done. And this is the page that I did for you. It's still not all the way done. I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you layer your bits on there. And then you have this going on. And when I did the almond, I kind of did it like this is lighter almond than in here. So I kind of graduated the almond ink color as I did it through the stencil. Okay, so that is this page right here. I just don't have all the foof on yet. But isn't that a pretty look? Look at all that sparkle and shine. I love it. Okay, so you might be asking, well, what else did you do? Well, I did a card to go with that envelope. But first, I want to show you some of the stuff in here. This is the core catalog. And this is the shimmer trim. Make sure I'm on camera. This is the shimmer trim that I showed you, the little tip with the little adhesive to get the backing off easier. Okay. And there's some pretty colors. This is where you find the beads. Again, it's the core catalog, page 68, and I use the bright ones, which is the yellow. And this is where you find the different colors. So moon dust, somebody has told me you gotta have. Like I said, I have the nebula and I have the solar flare, and I do not have the asteroid yet. Which I think one of these, I think it's the asteroid, has big silver circles in it. And I don't know what the moon dust has, but when I get it, I'll let you know. Also on this page over here is our palette knives. Here's some texture paste as well that we've had before that I've heard, and I may have to try on a class, that you can put this down and then put this glitter gel over the top of it. Now obviously you probably let that dry and then add that. So that might be cool because you get a little more bumped up. This is where our new little tools are, and there's also some stencils. If you don't want or don't have a Cricut, then you can use these, and these are 12 by 12 stencils. I've used those before, so I know if you look at some of the past ones you will see that. Okay, here's your all-purpose mat, the sponge daubers, the liquid glass, the tape runner that I used, and then back here is the avocado and almond. Okay, all right, let's see that card. Let's see the card. Who wants to see the card? Hey Tim, thanks for watching. Here's the card that I made. What do you think? So you can see that I've got this coming up a little bit. I add a little bit here. This is from that stamp that's online. This is actually the Christmas paper, Comfort and Joy, back here. Almond cardstock. I sponged everything a little bit. And there you go. And I have a little bit bigger pile than this one that's currently drying, so it's hard and heck to pick up. Just because when I globbed it, I squeezed a little too hard, and that's what happens. You get an even bigger one, but I think either one would work. So there's my card. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll answer them as they come. And I hope you guys have a great day. And thank you ever so much for watching. Remember, this is free. If there's any bots on there and stuff, just ignore them. Don't ever click on them. And have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.